Hello, good night. My name is Francisco, and today I'm going to explain my final project delivery for the subject of computational thinking for engineering. So basically, my project, it's a homage to the era of the digital graphic novels of the video games in the 80s and 90s. For example, those based on the Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, that basically were these video games that worked only by means of code, of simple text and code. That's why the name is text adventures. So the player basically just had to input a command on the code to continue playing. Basically, we can consider them the successor of the choose your own adventure books, if you have read them, but that's too much introduction. So I am going to explain the main part of my code. So first, we need to understand what are the imports we are using here. Basically, the import time is for the handling the time-related operations such as delays and countdowns. Random is to generate random numbers, in this case for creating random arithmetic operations. Sys is used for printing text directly to the console without a delay. Threading, it's allows to simultaneously execute the running of two sections of a code. So here we are running the timer, the countdown timer, while awaiting for the user input. And finally, import os is used for exiting the program in any game over. This last one is just to add like this horror feeling when you die or when you win the game. So the first important part of the code is the main. In the main, we just immediately call the game intro. If we see here, it's printed like here. So one important thing to notice is that it's printed like with a typing effect. We can find this on this function, delayed text, that takes a delay of 0.03 seconds. But for effects of this explanation, we are going to reduce this to 0.003, just so the text goes a lot faster to explain it. And it iterates through each character in input test, print the current character with a new line, and then pause the execution for the specific delay. So it basically just creates like a typing effect on a typing machine. So this is the first part of the story. We can find it here in dev game intro. Here, the inventory is set to, the game has 3 objects you can recollect, and this inventory is to store them. The health start at 100 and the sanity 2. And here you find the first decision. You can check the cryo chamber control panel or go outside of the room. For this, the sake of this run, we are going to make the true ending of the game. So here, the first thing we need to do is to solve a mathematical problem, and this works with the help of another function we have defined it here. It's the def create arithmetic operation. It's here. Here. So basically, it generates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 random integers between the 1 and 10, and it also creates 4 random operators to create this expression. And the system, what it makes is that it evaluates it on its own before checking the user input. As we can see here, it has a user input, but first the system checks by its own the input to compare with the user. So here we have 9 over 5 plus 5 over 4 over 8. And the thing is, this problem changes with each time. If you made a mistake, it prints a totally different code, arithmetic problem. So this one, it's 1.96. And we can see we have the correct answer, and the blood sample is added to our inventory. Then next, we can select either a left or a right hallway. Spoilers, the right hallway is an insta-death. You die either way of the selection. So we are going to choose the right hallway. Talking about game overs, the game overs, we can find them here. We have 2 different game overs. in the game. We have the normal game over, which is when you run out of health, and a special game over that it's very rare to obtain when you run out of sanity. In the game, you have two health variables, the health and sanity, and these are the two special game overs. So here we can see we can approach the Eldritch Tome. This is defined in another variable. And basically, if you don't select the tome, you lose sanity. No, if you choose a tome, you lose sanity. But if you don't choose it, you basically die because you don't have it. The tome, it's essential to continue the story and to obtain the true ending. So we are basically reaching the final part of the code, and where we find the final challenge, the Guts challenge here. And basically, it is to decipher a hexadecimal code. The hexadecimal language is like, for example, this. And the hint to use here is an external link. This is a traductor, but I already know what the message is. And here it says, the oldest and the strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and the strongest kind of fear is, we can put here, fear of the unknown. Oh, I wrote it wrong, unknown, there. And basically, now we can get the true ending of the story. So it's not that difficult once you made it like 2 or 3 times in a gameplay. But yeah, you need to play a lot. And this is the true ending. Here we have a special thanks message to the player. But now I want to show you another interesting part of my code, one in which I had a lot of effort. So basically, if you don't obtain the blood sample at the start, because to obtain the true ending, you need to have the 3 elements on your inventory: the blood sample, the God's wisdom, and the Eldritch Tome. But if you skip the blood sample, you can activate another event that it's another riddle. But in this time, as you can see, it has a countdown. So the correct answer here is echo. And I'm going to stop here the gameplay because basically you can't win. You obtain either a normal ending or a game over. So I am going to concentrate on explaining this part of the code, which was the most difficult in my opinion, the countdown. So basically, this prints a countdown with this format, timer, 002 format, means of seconds. It's the format of a timer. It converts into minutes and seconds format. And this function is called inside this other function, which is called display a riddle with timer. And as we can see, while the time is 0 and no answer flag is set, this means there is no answer input by the user. It continues decrementing the timer. And at the end of the day, if after the 40 seconds, you don't enter an answer, you don't know what to answer, that counts as an instant game over. So you either can answer correctly or put an incorrect answer. As we can see here in the dev, display riddle with timer. We have the answer flag as a threading event. Delay text, the riddle, seconds is equal to time limit, it's 40 seconds. And while seconds it's greater than 0, we continue to check if the user input is echo or it's another input. Once you input either a correct answer or an incorrect answer, the seconds are set to 0, so the timer stops running. And yeah, basically this is the hardest part of the code, because it's not easy to have a timer to be displayed and to continue decrementing with time. So basically, for this to achieve, we used the threading import. So each time, by each second that it passes, it changes the timer in the countdown. And this timer in the countdown is at the same time sent to the display the riddle with timer. But yeah, this code was very fun to work on it because I love these text adventures. They are like a retro part of the culture of the video games. And I think it's fun. If not useful, it's really fun. And well, you can see here for a very simple adventure, I used more than 400 lines of code. So to make a complex story in a text format adventure is a titanic work. So we should have respect to those programmers who made this immersive experience so many years ago. And that would be all. Thank you very much.